Love After Holidays was inspired by my book, Love After. And for me, I just wanted to show power in storytelling. For me, film and the arts saved my life. When I hit rock bottom and I felt like life wasn't worth living anymore, it was me putting my pen to the paper and just writing. And that journal turned into a book, and that book turned into a movie. I was addicted to Nollywood films. So I told my dad, I said, Daddy, I want to do acting. Because when I first told my mom and I wanted to be an artist and I wanted to be an actor and a model, she said, Picnic, go take your book. That can't pay no bills, That's a typical Caribbean parent's answer. And it's sad, but it's true. So I was like, okay, I'm going to show them. I was 16 and I came across Barbizon Acting School, and I worked at Starbucks and to pay for my tuition. And that's how come I learned to take pictures, and I learned to how to pose and etiquette and how to do runway walking. But I knew that modeling, it capped at a certain time. I was taught if you don't make it by 27, 26, your career's done as a model. So I was just like, with acting, I can be 70. I mean, look at, anybody, I can be 70, 80, 50 and still have a job. So I was like, I want to be an actor. So my dad, I told him I wanted to do acting. I wanted to do a Nollywood film because that's all we kept watching. And he was just like, I know a Nollywood, a Nigerian guy at my job, him do film and stuff and script. And my dad introduced me to Demraye Deniran, who is the writer, creator, and producer of Diary of a Bad Man, which gave me my first role. So Diary of a Bad Man, my role, Munchi, the undercover cop, Simone, was written for me. So growing up, I'm from Richmond, St. Mary. I went to Zion Hill Primary School, and I was raised by my grandmother, Lucilla Jackson, who was an evangelist. She also had her own store, her own market. And my grandmother taught me how to be strong. She taught me the power of entrepreneurship. So even from I was yay little, and anybody asked me, Justin, what do you want to be? I said, a boss. I want to have my own business like my grandmother. I see her she has her own store. She'll bring, some big basket. I'm just seeing her go to the market. She just was her own boss, and I just admire that. Even if it was five of us to a bed, we made it work. Even if one bulla left, all of her grandchildren, we're breaking it to eat, So I just love her strength. And I'm a walking miracle from her prayers. I am her prayers. I am the manifestation of her prayers.
You left Jamaica at what age?
12.
12.
But I've always come back and forth. So now we're doing dual citizenship, so I'll be here more often. Love After Holidays was inspired by my book, Love After. And for me, I just wanted to show power in storytelling. For me, film and the arts saved my life. When I hit rock bottom and I felt like life wasn't worth living anymore, it was me putting my pen to the paper and just writing. And that journal turned into a book, and that book turned into a movie. And it goes to show how powerful the arts is. So now we're looking at a film coming February 7th at Carib for Reggae Month. I'm super excited where the dream and the vision has led me. Love After is my memoir, self-help book, and it's me finding love within myself. That's when I found healing, the art of forgiveness, and finding my own identity, my own voice. When life left me broke, bankrupt, felt like life wasn't worth living anymore. I had to tap into my love after, which was my new beginning, and finding love within me. It starts internally first. And so that's what the book is about. When I learned to transform my pain and transform that into my purpose, and transform whatever mess I was going on in my life into my message, and my trials and tribulations into my triumph, that's where the transformation began to take place. It's changing my trajectory on how I view my setbacks. It was very cathartic, to see everything come to life and to tell the story of, reliving my divorce. And, in the movie, I almost lost my daughter in the divorce. And in the film, my character was an alcoholic and a talk show host. So she was just lost, and just showing the aftermath of a divorce and what impact that has on not just the divorcee, because I feel like it's always about the divorcee, but people overlook the children. How does when a family split up, how does that affect the children and the families involved? And I feel like that's the story I wanted to tell, and really focus on. And oftentimes we always see the woman and the mother getting the children. I wanted to tell it from a different end in terms of like the father being the super dad, the father. And for me, using Jeremy Meeks, he's not the standard typical super dad. He's known for being the prison babe. He went to jail. He has all these tattoos, and society will automatically class someone as him, stereotypical as not the father of the year. But I wanted to change people's mindset and change his trajectory, and I wanted him to be my leading guy, to play the father. Well, my character was the the deadbeat and the one that's all over the place and a hot mess. Janine was a hot mess. So I wanted to show a story from that angle because we don't often see the father and men in that type of light.
All right. Tell us about the cast of the movie. And
Absolutely.
how did all of that come about?
Absolutely. We have Trina who plays Minerva, my boss. So she was like no nonsense boss. She did an amazing job. That was actually one of her first films, so she did amazing. She was nervous at first, but she was amazing. We also have Malik Yoba, who played my therapist, Dr. Cunningham, who did an amazing job. Like, for me to sit across from a legend, that was mind-blowing in itself. Then, of course, the legendary Jamaican actor, Paul Campbell, that was, to me, was the most aha moment. I grew up watching Paul Campbell on TV, Third World Cop, Dance Hall Queen, Shatters, and for me to have Mr. Campbell as my father, to me, that was my favorite moment of the film. That was my favorite moment of the film. And then, of course, Terrell Hicks, who played in Bronx Tale and Belly, Richard Byrd, who played one of the officers, it's Tanya Thompson, the list goes on. So much amazing cast and crew who really helped to make this movie go forward. And my amazing director and co-producer, Antoine Allen, with Antoine Allen Film, who partnered with me on this project. Well, I'm very, very big on when God gives you a vision, he makes a provision. And all you have to do is put one foot out and say yes. And everything will fall into place. Everything that was in divine alignment just fell into my lap, And all we can do is ask. If you hear a no, it was no to begin with, right? So we just send the letters out to say, hey, I would like for you to play this role. And it's a yes or no. We did negotiation, go back and forth until we're pleased. And it was an amazing match made in heaven. Jeremy Meeks, so down to earth, so humble, has a heart of gold, so amazing to work with. Even Malik, me working with Malik Yoba, he came on board and just was just like, I see the vision, I want to help, any way I can. And working with him, he couldn't take off his directorial hat because he was just like seeing they could move the flowers over a little bit. We need more greenery. Where's the greenery? Where's the set designer? He was just in like that type of mode. So it was just amazing to work alongside him because he's a perfectionist. And Trina was just a blast. She came up a little bit shy, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's really shy, like so down to earth, so humble. So oftentimes people, we see these stars on the television and we put them on such a high regard, and they're just like human, just like you and I, So all it is like they just started their career earlier than me, but they're no different. Oh my gosh. So Paul Campbell, I knew I wanted to work with Paul Campbell. So when I did Diary of a Bad Man, that was actually my first film here on the island when we won Jamaica Film Festival. So thank you so much to the Jamaican Film Festival, Jam Pro, the Jamaica Film Commission for making that possible. We won Best Feature Film.
That was what year?
2015. And then Palace Amusement gave us a theatrical distribution deal 2016 when we came back out for that big premiere. And, from then I knew I wanted to work with Paul Campbell. So we wrote with Diary of a Bad Man Part 2, we wrote a role in for Paul. But of course, with anything with film, it's all about funding. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't have the right support and backing, it sometimes just goes nowhere. But even though Diary of a Bad Man 2 is on hold, because we're looking to bring that back 2026. So stay tuned for that. even though we didn't do that film, when I came up with Love After Holidays, I knew I wanted to have Paul as my dad. And Paul has another side to him that, like, he's really, really so different from what you see on the screen. Like, he's like the complete opposite. And to see that he's an artist, he's a painter, he has like this really nice, soft, gentle side. I wanted to show that on screen, him being my dad. So, and his character was also a cathartic moment because when we had the scene with Janine, my character, and Paul, and him apologizing for not being there in my life and for taking responsibility for why I am where I am in terms of my bad luck with marriages and not knowing how to have a healthy relationship, because fathers have to take responsibilities when a dad is not in the home. It plays a huge role on the upbringing of your child. A woman's first love is her father's. So when a dad is not in that home and that dad is removed, whether he's on the street, whether he's in jail, or he's just a deadbeat dad, the trajectory and the balance of a household is now thrown off. So now you have the mother playing both a masculine and a feminine role, and the household is off balance. So, now when a woman is older, including myself, we don't know what does a love from a man looks like. What does that feel like? And then we often have to find out through so many trial and errors and bucking our head through experiences that we are loving wrong, we're choosing wrong, we're not choosing the right partners. We don't know what a healthy marriage looks like because we never saw it growing up. And in real life, I didn't see a healthy marriage growing up. I saw my mom get abused, both verbally, physically. Where times where I had to jump in and try to fight my stepfather off my mom. She was left on the floor unconscious. So I spoke about that in my book as well. So for me, finding what marriage is, of course, I ended up in a divorce. But it just goes to show I didn't have an example of what a healthy love and a loving marriage looks like. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And I was with my ex-husband for 10 years, but now me in my 30s, now I understand. Now I know how to choose wisely, and now I have discernment, and now I have that maturity to now know what I want. Who am I? It starts first with me. Who am I? What is my purpose? And who aligns with that? So I would say that. I want to be able to inspire other creatives to say, you know what, if Jacinth can do it, I can do it. I have a story to tell. Don't sit on your story. Don't sit on your truth. That is your identity. So if I can do it, why can't you? So that's why when people walk away and people watching this even know, or, I wanted to resonate to be like, wow, I like her authenticity. And if she can do it and God can transform her vision and give her provisions and transform her vision into a reality, the same can happen for me. Absolutely.